What's up? I'm Noelle at Noelle's Notions, and this is Fame by the Flame with Ryan Moe. So I'm loving your finger / flame action going on right there.
It's appropriate.
Yeah, right?
Appropriate.
Definitely does. And we have double flame today, you guys. So it's twice as hot here.
Quadruple.
Yeah, quadruple. Yeah, right. We're doubling up on the hotness in there.
Yeah,
for sure. And so before we kind of get into all the stuff that is coming up for you, I know you got shows. I know you've got new music coming out. I really want to talk about just kind of your past a little bit, because I know that you're now in LA, but you're Sacramento born and raised. So how was that transition for you?
It was very overwhelming at first. I moved literally from the suburbs to downtown LA. It was my first spot. So it was kind of like a overwhelming transition at first, but once I got like my sea legs and like kind of figured out like what I wanted to do and that sort of thing, it's like I don't see myself leaving for quite some time. So, well, it's definitely a good move. I mean, you're now surrounded by more people who are in the music industry, entertainment industry, and I definitely feel like it's, you know, like-minded individuals who are helping you with your craft. Totally. It's like just being around like that many creatives in like such a small like area, it's super inspiring almost too. And it like, I don't know, I use it as kind of fuel to like, you know, just kind of motivation, I guess, because everybody's trying to, you know, race towards, you know, the same thing. So it's definitely healthy, I think, to have that as like kind of a motivation. For sure.
Well, and even though SoCal or LA is definitely kind of paving your future, I do want to pay respect to what developed you, which was the 916. So how long have you been doing music? Like, let's get into that and kind of what inspired you to become the artist that you are today. Yeah,
for sure. Well, I started, like, first instrument I played was piano.
Okay.
I played that for a couple years before kind of dropping it. Then when I was 12, 13, I picked up the guitar.
Okay.
And started playing in like cover like punk bands and stuff like that. And then I kind of just started messing around with like different digital audio workstations and like the whole production side in high school, just like making mashups and that kind of thing. And then up into college, I was like, you know, got interested in making actual like songs and stuff like that from scratch, and here I am today. So who are some of your favorite, you talked about mashups, right? And so who are some of your favorite like artists to mash up? Oh, I did like on my very first SoundCloud, I think I was like 14 or 15. I did this mashup of like Without Me by Eminem.
Okay.
And Clarity by Zed.
Yeah.
It was like, it didn't really work, but like, I don't know, I just like looked online for acapellas and like, I don't know, I kind of tried to make it work. So I think they're still out there too.
I was gonna say,
if you can find them,
for those fans, right? Since the OG fans, and that's on your SoundCloud, right?
Those are on like a super like dated SoundCloud. I forgot all the like credentials and logins for those. So they're deep in the internet somewhere. So if you can find them.
Yeah, if you can find him, listen to it, tag him, right?
Yeah, literally, please.
So he can find his own music, right?
I'll get a good laugh for sure, yeah.
And so, you know, going from, you know, Zed and Eminem to now creating your own sound, how do you define your sound for maybe someone who hasn't heard it before?
So, I mean, I have a lot of background in like the kind of indie, like alternative, like I said, even punk. With my sound, I think I'm just trying to blend like elements of like indie music with like guitars, kind of ambient, ambient stuff, especially in like my intros and breakdowns. And then, you know, when chorus, or kids like to call it the drop. It's more like EDM, dance, like future bass influence. So
yeah, I was gonna say, definitely listening to your stuff, you have a really unique vibe compared to a lot of other just like DJs or EDM artists that I've heard in the past. Some of my favorite songs are Now or Never and then Found. Those are my two, and those are a little bit older, 2016 and then 2017, not your newest. But I don't know, I just really liked those ones. What was your, like, I don't know, maybe like what was your inspiration behind those type of sounds?
Well, so Now or Never was the first original I actually ever put out.
So I chose a good one then, huh?
Yeah. And that one was a tough one because I was actually just like starting to fool around with like vocal mixing and that whole thing. And I think like looking back, like, you know, as an artist, you're your own toughest critic. And,
for sure.
You know, there's area if like, if only like I could be working on that song today. But I mean, that aside, I would say like I just wanted to make something. I worked with Lindsay Paveo on it, who's an amazing writer and amazing singer. I've worked with her numerous times. And yeah, I actually, the way that came about, I don't know, I was just in a space of like, I dropped out of college to pursue music full time, and I came home for a year to like kind of just figure out what the next steps were. And you know, I guess it was just coming from that sort of like vulnerable kind of like place. So yeah.
Well, I definitely feel like a lot of music, well, most all of music actually, quite frankly, is like the artist's, personal expression of what's going on in their life. And it kind of changes depending on what their mood is, depending on different life circumstances like you were talking about.
Right.
Is there any one song in particular that you can think back to that was a song that's really personal to you, besides Now or Never?
Yeah. I would say Better, which is my latest. Check it out.
And
everywhere.
Yes, and that's fans' best way to connect with you for that song is on Instagram, right?
Yes,
okay.
Instagram or Spotify as well. But with that one, I worked with Lullaby or Brooke Ferguson. We both worked on the writing for that one. I kind of arranged and produced the song, and then I brought it to her like a demo version, not the final version, and we kind of worked out the kinks and wrote the lyrics. And it was just super special to me because it was the first like song that I sang a full verse on and kind of like explored that like avenue, I guess, as an artist. So it was a challenge, and I think, I've definitely like garnered some skills from that process, and it always helps having like another writer in the room.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think like from a production standpoint, that's one of my better tracks, I would say. So.
Well, I'm excited that you're now kind of adding in your own vocals to, the music that now you make. It's like definitely a transition of first doing like mashups, then kind of like creating your own music, and then now actually like, adding your own vocals to your own music that you're creating.
The timeline.
Definitely the progression of you as an artist.
For sure.
And now do you see yourself making a lot more music with more vocals on it now that you've kind of broken through and done this first one?
Yeah, so I'm actually working on a song right now. I have a writer on it. My buddy Drew Famvangsa from Moving Castle. What up, Drew? He's helping me write, and I'm gonna actually sing on the entire thing. Totally.
Oh wow!
So
awesome.
Yeah, it's a new challenge again, but I think it'll just help me with my message, what I'm trying to say, and the image I'm trying to portray for myself.
Awesome. So we were just talking about Better and basically kind of your evolution as an artist, and that with your new stuff, you're going to be singing like full-heartedly on the track, which is going to be so cool. And you're going to kind of consistently, I think, keep that vibe, right, for some of the other stuff that you're putting out? Yeah,
that's what I'm going for. I'm trying to move kind of towards that space and, I don't know, kind of do something a little different. I feel like there's a lot of producers out there, but, not a lot who are singing as well.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like, my voice is decent enough to the point where like, I hope people would want to hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's cool to like just kind of have that kind of creative direction, and yeah, I'm excited to see where that takes me.
Awesome. And so now, where do you see yourself, let's say, in 5 years? Like, you know, because obviously you've had this consistent progression, you've been adding new things to your music to set you apart from other artists. Where do you see that taking you years down the road?
Well, I hope in like 5-year plan, I hope to like at least have one album or extended body of work out. You know, I really just like, I want to be in the right place. It's like kind of a right place, right time thing. And like with an extended body of work like that, it just takes like hours and hours, and like you got to be able to listen to it front to back, and it's got to tell a story and stuff like that. So I hope to just like kind of be in that sort of space within the next 5 years to be able to do that. And yeah, honestly, just keep the ball rolling, just keep one-upping myself, and, you know, keep working towards, you know, the bigger picture, really.
Yeah. Well, and as an artist, you know, from your past work and from what we're talking about now, I know that you pride yourself on really being an individual and really separating yourself from other artists. What is one thing that is important for you for fans to know about you as an artist, whether that be a personal aspect to your life or just, you know, maybe an insight to why you make music?
That's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know. That's a good one. Let me think about this.
Yeah, we'll circle back, fans.
That's a tough one.
Well, while you think on that, one thing that I want to talk about is your shows.
Yeah.
Because I know that you have a lot coming up. And before we talk about your shows that are coming up in SAC and beyond, I kind of want to go back a little bit and talk about your EDC pop-up, because I thought that was rad. Like performing at EDC definitely for, you know, the type of music that you're in is really a big deal. So how was that being at EDC?
It was really cool. It was a great opportunity. You know, just to like have kind of my friends around there too, and just kind of be just, it's like it's EDC, it's the big dance, you know. So it's cool to just it's very humbled to be able to like go out and kind of contribute to like what it is, and it's super inspiring. It was super inspiring.
Was that something that you had in, you know, when you were 15 and making music, or, you know, was that something that you had been like, wow, like that would be kind of like a pivotal moment for me in my career, and then actually being there was maybe just kind of like sobering of like, wow, like I'm here and I'm doing this.
It was definitely like eye-opening, and like, you know, I mean, ever since I got into EDM, it was like EDC, you know. Every major news outlet is like talking about it every time it comes around. So, it was definitely surreal. And just super humbled to be able to.
That's cool. Well, it's now that you've already done that, it's like, okay, you could check that off the list, and now you're making moves in other directions and growing as an artist. And speaking of other shows that you have coming up, so you're going to be at Concerts in the Park in Sacramento.
Yes.
And that's going to be cool because you're basically playing your hometown, but now like on the stage in front of, you know, all your fans, family, friends.
Right.
So what is your feeling about that? Are you really excited?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, Concerts in the Park has had such a great track record since they started, and
shout out to the crew.
Seriously. I mean, it's such a cool concept to like be able to bring these artists to the community for free, and to just like help, or to be brought out here and, you know, contribute to that cause in my hometown is just like, it's amazing. Yeah. So I'm super, happy to.
Yeah, I think it's cool with shows like that where, again, it's like you have a huge crowd, it's a bunch of diverse individuals, and they're all there really just have a good time. And you're providing that music that's going to make that lasting impression in their life, you know, that day when they'll remember for like the rest of their lives. And I think that's really cool to have that kind of effect on people.
It really is, for sure. And like, it's just cool. You nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it right there.
And so do you have any future shows coming up beyond that? And I'm assuming most of them are going to be in Southern California.
Yeah, well, none I can actually talk about right now.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, fortunately for us, fans will just have to stay tuned then, right?
Yes,
and keep up
absolutely.
with you.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
For sure.
And while they're staying on top of your shows, they'll be able to check out your new music and your new song as well that just came out.
Yes,
so definitely you guys find that everywhere on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud. Everywhere that music is streamed.
Yes. Literally anywhere.
Anywhere. Well, I want to go back now to the first question that I asked you. So, again, is there something that you really want fans to know about you? Maybe some insight into why you do what you do?
I just do it, honestly, to just feed the beast inside myself, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I just, like, have this itch to be creative and, like, you know, paint a picture almost. And like, I mean, to be just like where I'm at and like, you know, for it to resonate with people, it's just like, it's really cool. And it's like, it's inspiring in itself, I guess, you know?
Do you ever feel like when you create music that you're kind of, like what you said, you're feeding the beast. So essentially like you're kind of releasing like whatever emotion that you're holding inside you kind of onto a track and putting it out there for others to kind of feel what you're feeling? Yeah,
it's almost like an escape, I guess, from reality. 'Cause you kind of, I mean, you just kind of lose track of everything that's like not important really. And you're just kind of honed in on one area or feeling or whatever it is, whatever the inspiration is. So
yeah, well, definitely losing yourself in the moment through music, essentially.
Absolutely, yeah.
And is that kind of maybe a feling that you get when you're on stage? I know.
Absolutely. Like, some of the bigger shows I've played, it's like, it's a high almost. Like it goes by like that, and it's like, what just happened? You know, like, it's definitely, you get lost. Nothing else really matters in the world except for that. So,
And what would you say is one thing that's unique about your shows that maybe fans can't find anywhere else?
Well, I've been told I'm somewhat of a stage presence.
Okay.
I don't know. I just like to have a good time up there. I think it just comes from like my history of like playing guitar and singing in bands, and like, I don't know, I just feel like comfortable up there. And, it just kind of comes naturally.
Yeah, well, it's definitely like you have a good performance value.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can relate to the crowd like while you're up there, you know, with all of your experience of like being in music from an early age till now. It's like all that repetitive practice is kind of like what makes you so comfortable and able to open up, I feel.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
So I know that you've done a lot of collaborations with artists in the past, and now that you're putting out new music and you're going to be singing on it, are there any future collaborations that you can share with us?
I have one coming out actually that's in the works with my buddies Science.
Okay.
Shout out to Zach and Braden. It's in the works right now. We're actually wrapping it up. Just waiting on vocals. I will not be singing on that one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a really dope track. It has a really cool, mystic, kind of like dreamy feel. And yeah, it's all I can really say.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to listen out for it.
Stay tuned. Yeah. Yeah.
I did want to talk about, you know, you have all this new stuff coming out, but obviously in order for you to start music and begin making new music, you had to have some influences along the way. So who are some maybe artists or even just people in your life who really influence you?
So from like an artist standpoint, I would have to say like Muramasa, Shalou, Manila Killa, kind of that like R&B-esque kind of electronic vibe, I guess. It's super like R&B influenced and super bouncy and stuff like that.
And do you feel like that's kind of maybe the vibe of some of your music based off of your influences?
Yeah, definitely. Especially with like, Come Over and Better, mostly. I mean, their music along with mine, it's kind of coming from more of a vulnerable place, which, you know, my goal is, you know, we're all vulnerable, whether it's like a love loss, family member loss, change, big life change. And yeah, I just want to like, my goal is to create something that people can kind of confide in, I guess, and connect with, to help kind of get them through those changes. And
yeah, definitely. You know, you want to kind of have a part in helping somebody, what you said, like kind of get through something or overcome an obstacle in their life, that you can kind of be that song, you know, like that, you know, like when you're in high school, or like the song that you cry to, like when you have a breakup, or that you like, you know, you're like pushing on repeat when you're having a good day, even, you know, something like that. That's really cool. Do you have any advice maybe for people who are within your industry? You know, because you talked a lot about how you've had a lot of influences along the way, and hopefully you can influence others. Like
peers or like people. I would just say keep at it, and be a sponge. Like learn as much as you can, do as much as you can. You know, make sure if you're putting out music, make sure your music is like reaching everyone it possibly could. Just be persistent and just keep going.
Awesome. Yeah. So definitely fans, stay on your grind, right?
Yes. The grind is real.
Yes, for sure.
But the payout is even realer.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Ryan Moe. I really appreciate you for being on Fame by the Flame, and just like me. Again, being vulnerable and sharing your tale of like why you're putting out dope music. And I'm really excited for all the new stuff that you have coming out. I'm really looking forward to the vocal part of it.
Thank you. Yeah. So am I.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And again, thank you so much, Jay at Almana Labs. You're awesome, and we really appreciate you. Until next time, fans, I'm Noelle at Noelle's Notions, and this is Fame by the Flame with Ryan Moe.